Dear students, welcome you all to session 13 video of chapter Capital Structure, Financial Management, 5th semester BCom. The previous session, session 12, examination question of 2015, 24 marks problem was worked out, wherein the financial leverage and EPS of different financial plans were determined. This session is about the examination question of 2013 for 24 marks. The question goes like this. Vijayanagara Steel Limited is planning to undertake a project involving an outlay of Rs 9 lakh and proposes to raise the funds in any of the following alternative financial plan. A. Issue of 90,000 equity shares of Rs 10 each. B. Issue of 45,000 equity shares of Rs 10 each and 4,500 12% debentures of Rs 100 each. C. Issue of 45,000 equity shares of Rs 10 each and 14% 45,000 preference shares of Rs 10 each. D. Issue of 30,000 equity shares of Rs 10 each, issue of 3,000 12% debentures of Rs 100 each and 30,000 14% preference shares of Rs 10 each. The question continues. Assume EBIT to be in the range of rupees 1,25,000, 1,50,000, rupees 1,75,000 and rupees 2 lakh. Assume corporate tax rate to be 30%. Calculate EPS for each plan and determine the best plan. We will have to calculate the earnings per share for each plan and we have to find out the best plan in this case. Now, let us analyze the question. The firm wants to raise 9 lakh rupees and there is no mention of the existing capital here. So, we have to assume that the firm wants to raise 9 lakh rupees. And how can this be raised? That is, the first one is the firm can issue all equity, that is 90,000 equity shares of Rs 10 each. Or second case is the firm issues equity shares as well as debentures, 12% debentures. So 4,50,000 rupees through issue of equity shares and 4,50,000 rupees through issue of 12% debentures. The third situation is the firm issues equity shares as well as preference shares. So 4,50,000 through issue of equity shares and 4,50,000 through issue of 14% preference shares. And the last situation, that is the fourth situation, is the firm issues equity shares, debentures as well as preference shares. 3 lakh through issue of equity shares, 3 lakh through issue of debentures and 3 lakh through issue of preference shares. It is clearly given there. 30,000 equity shares of Rs 10 each, 3 lakh. 3,000 12% debentures of Rs 100 each, 3 lakh. And 30,000 14% preference shares of Rs 10 each, 30,000 to 10 rupees, 3 lakh. So 3 lakh plus 3 lakh plus 3 lakh, 9 lakh rupees. So these are the 4 plans available. Now, the firm's EBIT, it may be in the range of 1,25,000, 1,50,000, 1,75,000 and 2 lakhs. So EBIT, there are different EBIT, 4 EBITs. One is 1,25,000, other one is 1,50,000, one is 1,75,000 and rupees 2 lakh. And we have 4 different plans. So we have 4 plans and 4 EBIT. The corporate tax rate of the company is 30%. So you are asked to calculate the earnings per share for each plan. Now, to find out the earning per share, we'll have to prepare the statement of income. So let us begin. The plan first. Now we are going to prepare the statement of income in case of plan first. What is the plan first? First plan, here the firm raises the entire 9 lakh rupees by issuing equity shares, 90,000 equity shares of Rs 10. Now EBIT, so different EBITs are given, that is 1,25,000, 1,50,000, 1,75,000 and 2 lakh rupees. Now interest, less interest. There is no debentures here, so nil. So EBT, earnings before tax, is same, 1,25,000, 1,50,000, 1,75,000 and 2 lakh. Less tax at 30%. So we'll have to calculate the tax. 1,25,000 multiplied with 30%, 37,500. 1,50,000 multiplied with 30%, 45,000. 1,75,000 multiplied with 30%, 52,500 and 2 lakh multiplied with 30%. Amount 60,000. So what we get is earnings after tax earnings before tax minus tax earnings after tax. So earnings after tax is 87,500, 1,05,000, 1,22,500 and 1,40,000 less preference dividend. So in this case we are issuing only equity. There is no question of preference dividend, so it is nil. And surplus profit is the same, 87,500, 1,05,000 and 1,22,500 and 1,40,000. EPS, how do you calculate EPS? EPS is equal to surplus profit divided by number of equity shares. So we know the firm is issuing only equity shares, 90,000 equity shares are there. So number of equity shares is equal to 90,000. So EPS is equal to 87,500 divided by 90,000, 0.97. Second case, 1,05,000 divided by 90,000, 1.17. Third case, 1,22,500 divided by 90,000, 1.36. And fourth case, 1,40,000 divided by 90,000, 1.56. So we have found out the EPS for the different plans. Now we'll come to the second plan, plan 2. So what is plan 2? Here we are issuing 45,000 equity shares of rupees 10, 4,50,000, that is equity shares, and the remaining amount through debentures, issuing 12% debentures. So out of 9 lakh, 4,50,000 issue of equity shares, 4,50,000 issue of debentures. The EBIT, the 4 different EBITs which are given, 1,25,000, 1,50,000, 1,75,000 and 2 lakh. Interest, we do have interest, 4,50,000 multiplied with 12% debenture interest, 54,000 in all the cases. So EBT is 71,000, 96,000, 1,21,000 and 1,46,000. Tax at 30%. You have to calculate, multiply the EBT with 30%. It is 21,300, 28,800, 36,300 and 43,800. So earnings after tax is equal to earnings before tax less tax, 49,700, and second case 67,200, and third case 84,700 and 1,02,200 less preference dividend. We are not issuing preference shares, so there is no question of preference dividend, it is nil. Surplus profit is equal to 49,700, 67,200, 84,700 and 1,02,200. Earning per share is equal to surplus profit divided by number of equity shares. So 49,700 divided by number of equity shares is 45,000. And second case 67,200 divided by 45,000. Third case 84,700 divided by 45,000. And fourth case 1,02,200 divided by 45,000. Now we'll go to the next plan, plan 3. We have to prepare the statement of income. So EBIT is the 4 different EBITs which are given. In this case, plan 3, the firm is planning to issue equity shares as well as preference shares. 4,50,000 will be raised to equity shares and remaining 4,50,000 will be raised to preference shares, that is 14% preference shares. So EBT remains the same. Tax is 30% of that, 37,500, 45,000, 52,500 and 60,000. Earnings after tax is equal to earnings before tax minus tax, 87,500, 1,05,000, 1,22,500 and 1,40,000 less preference dividend. So in this case we have preference shares, 4,50,000, 14%, 4,50,000 multiplied 14%, 63,000 rupees. So surplus profit is equal to 24,500, 42,000, 59,500 and 77,000. So EPS is equal to surplus profit divided by number of equity shares, 24,500 divided by 45,000, 42,000 divided by 45,000, 59,500 divided by 45,000, 77,000 divided by 45,000. Now we'll go to the next one, that is the last one, plan 4. Plan 4, here the firm is planning to issue equity shares, debentures as well as preference shares. 3 lakh by issue of equity shares, 3 lakh will be raised by issue of debentures and 3 lakh by issue of preference shares. EBIT is given 4 different EBITs, 1,25,000, 1,50,000, 1,75,000 and 2 lakh. Interest we'll have to calculate 3 lakh multiplied with 12%, 36,000. EBT will be 89,000, 1 lakh 14,000, 1 lakh 39,000 and 1 lakh 64,000. Tax at 30%, multiply EBT with the 30%. 26,700, 34,200, 41,700 and 49,200. Earnings after tax is equal to 62,300 and second case 79,800, third case 97,300 and fourth case 1,14,800. From this, we have to deduct the preference dividend. Preference dividend is preference shares are 3 lakh and the preference dividend percentage is 14%. 3 lakh multiplied with the 14% amount is 42,000. When we deduct that, we get the surplus profit, that is 20,300, 37,800, 55,300 and 72,800. We have to find out the EPS, surplus profit divided by number of equity shares. The number of equity shares are 30,000 equity shares. Why? Because 3 lakh, that is 3 lakh rupees raised through issue of 30,000 equity shares. So 20,300 divided by 30,000, 0.67, 37,800 divided by 30,000, 1.26. 55,300 divided by 30,000, 1.84. 72,800 divided by 30,000, 2.43. Now we have prepared the statement of income for 4 different plans, and its 4 tables are prepared because different EBITs were given. Only one EBIT was given, we would have prepared only one statement of income. So 4 different statement of incomes are prepared for 4 different plans. We have to find out which is the best one. We'll have to compare the EPS. Now we'll go to the first plan. We can just see the earning per share. 0.97, 1.17, 1.36 and 1.56. Come to the second one, 1.10, 1.49, 1.88 and 2.27. Again coming to the third one, 0.54, 0.93, 1.32 and 1.71. The last one, 0.67, 1.26, 1.84 and 2.43. So you can just compare this and the second plan. See here, highest one is in case of plan 4. So plan 4, this is the best EPS because this is the highest EPS, that is means highest earning per share when the firm goes for plan 4. So that will be our answer. Plan 4 will be the best because it gives us the highest EPS. So students, I hope you have understood how to work out this problem. Please try this, write down in your notebook. Okay, thank you.